President Trump is lashing out at the FBI after reports that special counsel Robert Mueller fired a top FBI agent in August from his Russia investigation team because of anti-Trump texts he may have sent. The president tweeting yesterday, after years of Comey with the phony and dishonest Clinton investigation and more running the FBI, its reputation is in tatters, worst in history. But fear not, we will bring it back to greatness. This morning, the president doubled down, calling out the hypocrisy between how the agency has treated Michael Flynn versus Hillary Clinton.
Well, I feel badly for General Flynn. I feel very badly. He's led a very strong life, and I feel very badly, John. I will say this. Hillary Clinton lied many times to the FBI. Nothing happened to her. Flynn lied, and they destroyed his life. I think it's a shame. Hillary Clinton, on the 4th of July weekend, went to the FBI, not under oath. It was the most incredible thing anyone's ever seen. She lied many times. Nothing happened to her. Flynn lied, and it's like they ruined his life. It's very unfair.
Meanwhile, a prominent lawmaker is calling for the Clinton email investigation to be reopened in light of these new developments.
I worked in the Justice Department for many years. FBI agents should not bring in their own political bias into these investigations. And the fact that this was one of the lead agents on the Hillary Clinton email investigation, if true, I think is very disturbing and possibly could call for a reopening of that investigation.
All right, so big developments every day when you wake up, Brian, right? With Mornings Are Better with Friends.
I mean, it's just unbelievable how much, and thank you very much for the promo. I owe you one. By the way, watch Kimberly tonight. What are you doing after this?
Well, I'm going to a party.
Okay. No, I guess we're not invited. So this
Please don't watch.
This guy, Peter Strzokar, I'm amazed at what he was a part of. He was a part of the Hillary interview, okay? He's a part of that. He is a part of looking through the 35,000 emails that cropped up on Anthony Weiner's laptop. He might have been part, maybe an advocate. We're about to find out because he would not commit to an interview with the House Intelligence Committee to Fusion GPS and making that part of the investigation. So this guy's a main part of it. Now he's at Human Resources, which is interesting. People call him up and ask how many sick days they have left. So how do you possibly go to Human Resources with an investigative background? It's bizarre what has happened, and I'm wondering if he is the only one.
Interesting. Katie, nice to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So what do you make of these developments?
Well, I give Bob Mueller credit for moving the guy to Human Resources. However, he was not fired. Some people keep saying he was fired. He was not. But the more we learn about how the Clinton email investigation was handled, the dirtier it looks. If you look at the web surrounding the investigation, whether it's this guy who was part of it and was an anti-Trump, pro-Hillary person sending these texts to someone he was having an affair with during the investigation. You add in Andrew McCabe, whose wife was friends with the Clintons and the McAuliffes, who were close to the Clintons. Then on top of it, you add in Loretta Lynch, who told Comey to call this a matter, not a criminal investigation. And then you go back to Comey and what he said when he exonerated Hillary Clinton, saying that, yes, we have evidence of potential violations of the statutes, but nobody's really going to press this case. And then we find out that he wrote the exoneration of Hillary Clinton months ahead of time. The more we learn, the dirtier it is, and it seems like they need to look at it again.
All right, so Jesse, where does this go?
Well, not well for this guy working in the rubber room over at HR. But, I mean, the FBI looks about as crooked as Hillary. If this guy's anti-Trump, pretty bad. He's anti-Trump, and he is the lead investigator of Trump. He interviewed Flynn himself and didn't even warn Flynn that he was coming to interview him, put him under oath. Flynn didn't even know he was under oath. Flynn didn't even have a lawyer present during the interview. So you have that. Then, also, led the Hillary Clinton email investigation, and apparently he was one of the ones that changed the language that Comey said from grossly negligent to extremely careless. And as you know, that's the statute, grossly negligent, which would have triggered the indictment. So you also have the FBI director, McCabe, whose wife donated to Clinton ally Terry McAuliffe. Didn't tell us about that. And now we're learning that McCabe is the point of contact for the Clinton-funded fake Russian dossier, which we haven't heard anything about from the FBI yet. And they're stonewalling on the documents from the tarmac meeting with Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch. And we now know from the documents that we have seen, they were frantically trying to cover it up. And The Mueller team stacked with Democratic donors. Mueller is Comey's professional mentor, and it looks like Comey's now probably guilty of removing FBI documents after he was fired and illegally leaking them. The whole thing looks really bad, and I really don't trust the integrity of the investigation anymore.
There you go. All right. So, Juan, do you think this is very problematic for the president?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what's problematic. General Flynn.
That was a softball question.
General Flynn pleading guilty on Friday, and then I think people here are just so desperate to try to distract and derail what is obvious and what's in front of us all, which is the president is in trouble in terms of that investigation, with Flynn having pleaded guilty, made a deal with Mueller, and potentially now going to tell secrets that could lead up the trail there, apparently Jared Kushner in the target. I think people here, and I think the president, are just desperate to try to distract people. So you go after
What's so desperate about trying to get the truth out?
No, there's nothing.
I don't
know.
But there's
no truth to this.
Like a good idea.
This is a totally talk about fake news. This story is fake news because guess what?
What's
the FBI allows agents to express their opinions. You can have a political opinion.
Not on the job.
Problem, no, in terms of your personal life.
Not when you're investigating. That's called conflict of interest.
Why was he sent to HR, Juan?
He didn't. The reason he was sent to HR, Jesse, is that Robert Mueller wants to be cleaner than Caesar's wife or whatever, right? And so when he learned that this guy had in Twitter or emails that could be uncovered expressed opinions that could be seen.
It's too late. He already led the Clinton and Trump investigations.
Let me just tell you something.
Removing him now doesn't do anything.
Let me just tell you something. Policemen on the street to FBI agents all have personal opinions. It doesn't mean they can't do their job, Jesse.
So do you now trust this guy
in trying
to lead
put down this
nonpartisan investigation?
Yeah, because he was.
I wouldn't.
Let me just tell you something. He was regarded by FBI agents in Washington as the best. He is a very good investigator.
And Comey was regarded as the best, too, and he totally botched the Clinton email.
No, he didn't. No, that's your opinion. That's your politics. But there is no evidence that would have suggested that Hillary Clinton be indicted. Nobody has produced such evidence.
Juan, Hillary Clinton is the one who thinks he botched everything.
Yeah, because he went overboard trying to fix
he went overboard.
Yeah,
either he's great or he's bad.
No, I didn't say it was great or bad. But I'm just saying nobody's suggesting there was any basis on which to charge Hillary Clinton with a crime.
If the shoe was on the other foot, and during the Clinton investigation, there was an FBI agent texting his mistress anti-Hillary, pro-Trump text messages, I guarantee you would have a different opinion.
Let me just tell you something. You would have to put a whole bunch of Americans in the dock if you said tweeting something that was anti-Trump, you couldn't do your job.
No, that's not the point. The point is that based on the exact investigation that he was heavily involved in, he was involved in the Clinton investigation, he's involved in the Trump investigation with the special counsel. Bob Mueller removed him for a reason. Bob Mueller wouldn't. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so
he wanted to avoid
for you to say that there's nothing that happened, and for you to also say that Comey didn't think anything was wrong, well, then why did he say about Hillary Clinton there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes? Yes, regarding the handling of classified information.
And he also said that no prosecutor would bring a case against Hillary Clinton.
Based on an investigation done by pro-Hillary Clinton agents. So instead you get, now we're into a situation where the real story today is things like, will Trump pardon his people? John Dowd, his lawyer, is saying, oh, Trump can't be found guilty of obstruction because he's the commander-in-chief. He can do anything he wants to do, says Trump people. And people who are buying into this story about Strzok are just playing into Trump's hands.
No, in fact, over the weekend, if you listen to Sunday shows, even reluctantly, you saw a lot of these hosts go, well, this plays exactly what the Republicans were saying, that they have a problem with the way in which the FBI at the highest levels was going about this interrogation. There's one aspect that has not been brought up yet, and that is why, for the longest time, has McCabe, as well as this guy Strzok, we didn't know his name, ducking the request to have them come in front of the House Intelligence Committee. Now they finally acquiesced to Devin Nunes and will come in and speak, although McCabe says, I have a conflict with my schedule. I wish Mike Flynn had a conflict with his schedule when he was told by Strzok that he had to go under oath and answer that question.
I think there are many more people than Strzok who would say that General Flynn had to go under oath. Because remember, Sally Yates, the Justice Department, who was the acting Attorney General at the time, everybody said, this guy has told lies about his meetings with the Russians. That's a whole different kettle of fish. And you guys are just trying to throw everything in. And then, you know what, you want to whip up on Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton's not the issue here. the issue here is Trump and potential collusion.
Yes, there is. It's the juxtaposition between the two.
Let's look at the difference.
What's the juxtaposition?
I'll tell you the difference. Hillary Clinton put national security at risk, lives, methods, and sources. Hillary Clinton repeatedly didn't tell the truth to the American people. She destroyed her emails after they were subpoenaed.
You guys are
she
ridiculous.
smashed BlackBerries with hammers.
Let me just
And then
say-
when she went in for the FBI interview, she never was put under oath. General Flynn never put national security at risk, never did it, and he never destroyed any evidence, yet he was put under oath without a lawyer, and he's now lost everything.
Right. She was never hacked, not once hacked.
Every intelligence official believes she was hacked.
Nobody, there's no evidence that she was hacked. You say that, again, to build the
Everyone
case.
assumes
Never
the
hacked,
fact that she was
nothing
hacked.
revealed,
You know
no
why?
secret.
Because she bleach bit her emails.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm
that
just
would've been
saying,
great.
nobody says that she was hacked or any foreign government gained information.
Look,
Nobody.
Look it up, Juan.
Just because there's a double standard does not mean that Michael Flynn's lying to the FBI, which even President Trump admits he did. Doesn't justify that. However, there is a double standard, and in America, people have serious questions about our federal institutions, the FBI being one of them. And when you have this long list of conflict of interest, people do question why Hillary Clinton got a pass when a number of other people who did far less than her did not.
Well, what
that's
is
a
it?
legitimate concern for them to have.
What conflict of interest exists in your mind? Because he has a personal opinion?
The idea that the deputy FBI director at the time's wife was friends with the Clintons, that's something you should recuse yourself from.
She got a campaign contribution.
And ran for office.
And they worked with the Clintons.
Oh, it wasn't covered up. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, they didn't
McCain's
disclose
wife.
it.
And believe, again, why can't my wife run for office? And then you say, oh, because she's running, you can't do your
That's
job?
not the issue.
This is
That's
really
exactly why you don't want any appearance of impropriety.
There are conflicts of interest.
I'm amazed that you guys, who are normally so pro-law enforcement, would agree when the president attacks the FBI as in tatters and the worst in history.
I wish he would have been more specific and said the upper echelon of James
agree.
Comey. I am not comfortable with that at all, because some of the hardest working, most underappreciated
So
people
where is
are
this
the
coming
No, but
from?
the inference was there that it wasn't to disparage the FBI and the rank and file and the hard-working men and women that are there.
He should have disseminated, though, right?
Right. I mean, we all know what he's talking about.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
You don't think he said that the FBI is the worst in history in tatters?
Because
That's
of
what
the
he said.
management and what's happened.
He should have said management. Now he's got two
Compromise
cameras.
on
I just think you
standards.
guys are falling for Trump's tactics here and trying to distract people from the Flynn investigation and from the worst tax deal. We
The
can
Flynn
talk about
investigation's
that.
over.
Okay, but Juan's like jumping blocks here.
Listen,
Talk about
man.
jump the shark.
I mean, because that's all he does. He distracts people. He plays these games.
But Juan,
and you guys go for it every time.
You know what a distraction would be? A distraction would be bringing up something like Gitmo. That would be a distraction.
Or like sending missiles over into Milosevic's backyard when you're under investigation, rolling around with your
looking
intern.
for Bin Laden. But here's the thing. There's nobody else paying attention. This is played out almost as if it was a movie. Just when people wonder about where
TV.
James Comey and company were doing and what they were up to, if they were actually playing this on the straight and narrow, out comes this revelation from Mueller about Strzok having these anti-Trump tweets that come forward, and they move him out into human resources, and he's at the nexus of everything controversial.
I would think you would praise him then.
No,
you would
no,
say,
but
that is exactly what you should
Juan,
have done.
this happened in August.
Yes,
and
it's
they
way
had to
back.
be threatened
They had to be
with
threatened.
censure in order to disclose it to
By
Congress
the House
today.
Intelligence Committee.
No, but
They
let me
didn't
get-
willingly share
they
this
took
with
care-
us today.
They took care
Yeah.
of business right away. They said there's a potential here
And then they hid
for
it for
people to
6
say
months,
you
Juan.
have an opinion, and we're not going to risk it. You're gone. He's gone.
All
You
right.
guys should be applauding.
Juan, you're gone. Coming up, President Trump.